All right. Well, good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And yeah, welcome to the stream. Let's see, we're going to play some Hylics 2 today. I don't know if you know anything about the game. It's a little bit of a strange, psychedelic, weird experience, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. There is a first Hylics, but I've never actually played it, so I can't really tell you what the story is. I know a little bit about the characters. I've seen a playthrough of the first game a while ago, but yeah, I've never actually played it myself. It was a little bit too much of an RPG Maker game for my tastes, I think. Because I can't really get into those RPG Maker games. The second one is a lot more sort of casual friendly, a lot more polished in terms of the gameplay and everything, and the visuals especially. So I think it's a pretty good game to start off. I don't think you necessarily need to have played the first game or to know really anything about the first game, because there is it's so psychedelic and it's so strange and weird and out there that I don't think you really need to retain a lot from from previous lore or storytelling from that perspective. So yeah, let's see how this goes. I think, you'll be just as baffled as I was on the first playthrough. I've already played this game, by the way, so I'm not going into this blind. It's been quite a while since I've played this the last time, but I've tested it out yesterday for a bit, so, just to get back into it. And I think it's going to be a great time. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into it. Let me see how I can do this best. All right. I'll take a little bit, and there we go. So this is the start screen. And as you can probably already tell, just from the visuals and the music, it's a little bit of a strange game. And yeah, I kind of saw this randomly on Steam and decided to get it for myself, and I was really, really positively impressed by this game. So yeah, let's jump into it, start a new game. All right. So, as you've seen from this intro, nothing really apparent yet in terms of story or what exactly is going on. So we're this guy here. This little yellow moon-headed dude. His name is Wayne, and the controls are here. I'm playing this on a controller, so this doesn't really apply to me. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting way to start a game off. We're starting in Wayne's house. I don't know if this is our house necessarily, but it's called the Wayne house. It's not the Wayne Manor, but it's the Wayne house. So let's see, we can change the appearance in this mirror here to sort of look a little more stylish with his cloak, but I think for this playthrough, we're just gonna go with the regular sort of leathery biker type of look. I think it's pretty fitting. So as you can see, the visuals, the music, I think everything in terms of that is pretty fantastic. And it's just such a weird and trippy experience. I really like this. So there's these coins we can collect. There's money in this game. There's these little guys. They're called Wayne larvae, I think. And we can pet them if we want to. And I mean, they're cute, I suppose. I don't really know what they're good for, but yeah, if we wanted to, we could just stay here and pet these guys forever. There's a lot of them around, they don't really do anything. And there's these guys, which I think they're called bugs. Don't really look like bugs, but they're called bugs. We can slap them away. We can slap with our glove. And if we slap these bugs, we actually regenerate HP and mana, or the equivalent of that in this game. So down here, the first thing we're going to find after we collect this little coin here, first thing we're going to find is a couple of other Waynes. So we're not the only Wayne around. In fact, there's lots of Waynes actually, so let's talk to one of them. Back when the accretion hit, the strongest gesture was buried. Well, that doesn't really tell us anything. So let's talk to this other guy. I heard that TVs bestow the techniques of gestural combat. Okay, that's also not very clear, but if we look at this TV over here, we get this. We learned Bleb. Nope. It's a little bit strange, but that's actually how you get abilities in this game. So if we go into our gestures, that's basically our magic, abilities, whatever you want to call it. So if we go into here and we pick Wayne, now we have Bleb. That restores some HP, which is called flesh in this game, and grants a defending status. And we've got Dissolution as our standard sort of unique ability for the character. Because each character in this game, this is sort of like a traditional, I don't know if you want to call it like JRPG or just an RPG where you have a company of people following you around, like a party of people walking behind you. So each party member will get their own sort of unique individual ability, and then every ability that you learn from a TV is actually across your whole party, so every party member can use those. So let's get back into the game. We go up these stairs here, that's our bathroom, and we got this little sink here, or bath, or whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit too small for a bath, a little bit too big for a sink, I think, so I don't really know. We became clean. So this clean status gives you a little buff if you go into combat, and it actually heals you to full HP. And if we plunge our hand into the toilet here, we find a soul sponge. Those little guys help us resurrect fallen comrades. If we lose somebody in battle, we can get them back that way. Down here is Wayne's basement. And if we check these pots, we find empty, we find a cookie, which is just a healing item, and we find juice, which I don't really remember what it does exactly. But, you know, those are all items that help us in combat, in battle. There's another Wayne standing around here. He says, pools with fountains are linked to the afterlife. From there, you may return to any such pool you've previously entered. Okay. So if you look at this thing here, this little gloppy pink goo stuff coming out of this is actually a portal, so to speak, to the afterlife. The afterlife in this game is not really, well, I mean, it is technically an afterlife, but it's not really permanent. So this stuff is just for teleporting around. We can actually jump into this and I'll show you the afterlife quickly. So we're going to teleport, and here we are on this nice little beach, nice little music, another Wayne larva that we can pet. Isn't that just nice? Anyway, so here's the afterlife. We got this strange pink ocean. If we walk into it, nothing really happens. We just spawn right back here. And there's this guy sitting around on this pillar. It's a little strange, hard to reach. We have to jump up to talk to him. He says, machines up the stairs, warp pools past that. Welcome to the afterlife. All right. Again, nothing really apparent from his words. This whole game is a little bit vague in terms of that. But I think that's fine. And this other guy says, these Wayne larvae have just emerged. They'll be sent on to the house when their carapace is hardened up. So basically, these little guys turn into us at some point when their carapace is hardened up. I don't know when that is, but it's a thing. Up here, we have another burrito. Another, I don't know if we actually found one before. burrito is just another healing item, really. And we found meat just lying around on this rock here. Now, meat is actually pretty important, because with meat, what you can do, after we fall into this pink goo here, what meat does is you can actually raise your maximum HP that way. So if we go up these stairs here, and again, this is just gorgeous visuals in a strange way. So if we go up here, this guy says clean means respite from bad statuses for a little while. Please go ahead. But we've already cleaned ourselves at our thing, so there's no need for that. Now over here is the machine that this other guy on the pillar was talking about. So if we actually activate the machine, it says 1 meat tendered, and our maximum flesh is increased by 1. So if we look at our status here, now you can see Wayne has 60 out of 61 flesh. All right. This guy's saying, hey, I'm using this one, find your own. Now, I don't actually know what he's using here. I've never got this guy to move in the previous playthrough, so I have no idea what exactly this is. Can't tell you, but he's busy with it, so let's just leave him to it. So up here is the teleport pool. And we can select a destination with this guy. We can find other destinations that we can teleport to later. And if we jump into this pool, we go to whatever destination we've selected. But let's not do that right now, because what we're going to do is we're going to jump down here. And there's one more item that we can find. If I can get it. There's another burrito. I'll never say no to those. So let's go over here. And yeah, you can jump in this pink ocean, and you could basically go on indefinitely, but there's nothing to find there. And trust me, I've tried, so it's really just decoration. So let's go back up. There's another way to go back up, but I think this is a little unreliable if I remember that right. Yeah, so you've got these strange trampoline thingies here. And you could sort of try and use them. Not good enough. Okay, that one worked. But a lot of times I have trouble with this. All right. So let's go back to the Wayne house. Not Wayne Manor, the Wayne house. And let's see what we got. So we're done in this basement down here, I think. And now we can go outside. There's 2 ways to go outside here. There's one down here, and there's another up here. And we're going to pick this one real quick because there's money to be had. And then talk to this old Wayne up here. That's the big shot of this place, apparently. The stars forecast a flourishing of prescribed gestures. Gibby's agents work to reconstitute their master. Proceed west and seek our ally Blairol, that he might be forewarned. Alas, the others haven't completed their training, so you will go alone. All right. I didn't get much out of this the first time I played this, so I don't blame anybody if they didn't understand a word of what he just said. Basically, there's this bad guy called Gibby, and he wants to do bad things, and we have to stop him. And that's really the gist of the whole game, so that's really most you need to know. And down here is a whole army of Waynes standing around. These guys don't really have any unique dialogue, so we don't need to talk to them. This guy says, by holding down the jump button, one may slow their descent. After many years of training, of course. So what he's saying is, well, we can use a regular jump, right? But if we jump from somewhere higher, right, and we hold the jump button, we can actually sort of float down. That's pretty nice. Combats can often be avoided by rolling. Yeah, so you have a roll, like a dodge roll, a little bit like the Souls games, really. Because if an enemy approaches you, this game's kind of like, again, like a regular sort of RPG, where you have enemy encounters and then you get into combat screen. If you have an enemy approaching you, you can actually roll out of the combat. So that's pretty nice. Those who bear pneumatophores may dodge while airborne. Some may even briefly fly. Pneumatophores we don't have yet, so most we can do is just jump. But at some point we'll be able to master that. Do you think I'll be able to roll as well as you if I keep up training? Old Wayne says I can leave the house then. Well, I mean, I don't know, you don't look any different from all the other guys, so maybe. Old Wayne says we've got to be ready in case Gibby's reconstituted. Yeah, so Gibby needs to be stopped. Ain't that right, little guy? Alright, let's see, what are you saying? Slap, did you talk to Old Wayne? Slap, up on the roof. Slap, had a task for you. Slap, start combats with a timely slap. Slap, to gain a brief will bonus. Slap. So the slapping thing, that's not just for fun or killing bugs. What you can actually do is if an enemy walks up to you and you time the slap correctly, you actually get a little bonus in combat. So that's pretty nice. Or you can sneak up on an enemy if they haven't noticed you yet and just slap them. Alright, I think we're pretty much done up here. There's one more item that we might be able to get, but I think I've tried that the last time I started the game and I failed miserably, so I don't think we're gonna get this. But what we can do is we can jump on Old Wayne here. I'm sure he doesn't mind. And jump on this little umbrella here. And yeah, if we kind of get up on this little thing here, we might be able to do something. Almost had it. But I'm not going to spend too much time on this if I don't get it right now. There we go. But nah, there's no way we will make that right now. But later we will be able to try that. So Old Wayne says go west. Now this map here, these are, this game is, again, sort of classical. You have an overworld and you have smaller maps where you go into places, right? Now on this map, you might wonder, well, what happens if I go east then, huh? Actually, nothing. It just spits you out on the same overworld as it would if you go west. So it doesn't really matter. So this over here, this is Wayne House, where we just came from. Over here is nothing really. You can jump on this thing, but it doesn't really do much. You could try and jump over here, for all the people that like, trying to sequence break or explore things and stuff. There is nothing really to be gotten. So that's kind of sad. If you fall into the ocean, it's no big deal. You just spawn right on this beach next to Wayne House. This game is pretty sort of casual oriented in the sense that there's no real penalties for, if you mess up, if you die, if you fall into the ocean or whatever, nothing really happens to you. So it's pretty chill in that regard. So we can talk to this guy who says, those who possess pneumatophore may cross the sea north to view Wax's edifice. Now again, we don't really know what that means, but apparently if we have pneumatophores, we can cross the sea. All right, that's all we get out of that. So let's just continue down the path here. And there's nothing really to be had here. And this isn't really, high grass or anything like in Pokemon. You don't get any random encounters if you walk through this stuff. So it's all pretty uneventful right now. So there's this path over here that we can take, but we're actually going to go over here, which is the first sort of city that we encounter. I think it's actually the only city in the game. Yeah, if I remember that right. Let's go here and let's check the place out. This entrance area is fairly standard. There's nothing going on here. It's pretty nice decorations. Pretty nice music going on. And over here we have the first teleporter actually. So if you jump on this big blue button with a satisfying press, this is, the afterlife, as you've already seen it. But now we can actually go to this town from the afterlife. So that's pretty nice. These little things are just sort of, I don't know if they're town inhabitants, if they're animals. I don't know what they are. But if you bump into them, they jump up. I guess that's what they do. So let's see what we got here. So this town is actually fairly large. So there's a little bit of stuff to do. So we can talk to this guy, for example. Long ago, Lord Gibulus wisely ruled this land. That prosperous era was cut short by wretched anarchists. Well, damn those wretched anarchists, huh? What do you say? I knew it. All right, let's see. But there was one more guy over here somewhere that was supposed to be like a welcome committee, so I'm kind of missing him right now. It's nothing really important. But it's always kind of nice to be welcomed into a city, huh? Well, guess today's his day off. Let's see, so if we go over here, I'm sprinting a little too much, I think. I'm trying to get through this. Let's see. So if we go over here, this is a store that we can enter. There's a dude lying on the couch. It all comes down to thoughtful use of comestibles. Ain't that right? I don't know what he's saying. So let's talk to this other guy. If you meet Pool Man, burning is effective. This is actually advice. Now you might just, you know, say, whatever, he's just blabbering random stuff, but actually remember this. If you meet Pool Man, burning is effective. Don't forget about that. So let's see. This store is just, you know, random bits and pieces, but he has some important things, which is a muscle applique, which permanently increases power by 1, so we just do more damage. But I think he only has 1 of those, if I remember that right. And an organ fort. It's an organ fort. Days like these, you wish you had an organ fort. I mean, for real. Some days, man, I wish I had an organ fort. And the organ fort is actually a pretty good item. It's not an item, really. It's actually a piece of gear, right? So once we have enough money, we're going to go back to that shop and we're going to get those things. So over here, again, the layout of the town is also a little bit confusing. This door is locked, so we are going to have to find a key for that. The layout of the town is a little bit confusing at first, but, you know, in due time, you sort of remember where everything's at. It's not that big, actually, but it seems bigger than it is because it's got a little bit of verticality to it, a lot of sort of holes that you can fall into and stuff, so yeah. Calthamide husbandry brought us prosperity, but also made us target for opportunists like Vuax. Goddamn Vuax. Oh, hi, Likey. Hi. This game is Hylics 2. It's, yeah, you can see what it is. I can't really explain it too well. It's very interesting. It's a little bit psychedelic in its visuals and it's in music and everything. It's kind of like a traditional RPG type of game, but yeah, it is what it is. I just saw this randomly on Steam, so I got it and I've had a ton of fun with it, so I hope people enjoy this. Heat me, oh sun, he says. It's kind of a little bit like a Solaire in this game. He just loves the sun. So there's another collection of these bugs here that we can slap. We don't need that right now. We are full HP, so that's fine. What's he saying? Slapping bugs is a great way to restore your flesh, and we'll try it out sometime. Yeah. We will, once we need it. So let's see. We've tried that door up there that's locked, but we haven't talked to the guy that's standing above it, so let's see. They're doing that big excavation in the southwest. I tried to get a closer look, but I was savagely whomped by galliforms. I see. Galliforms, you say? Totally understandable. You don't want to be whopped by galliforms. This is the welcome committee. I've been looking for this guy. Welcome to New Moldul. Behold the splendor. This town is called New Moldul. And it's pretty, I don't know, splendorful, however you want to say it. What do you have? It all happened so suddenly. Vuax's troops abducted the cafe owner. Without coffee, we'll be defenseless against spores. He's not wrong. You need coffee. Oh, we already talked to this guy. You need coffee to avoid the spores. So let's just jump into this hole this guy's lying about, huh? Heat me, oh sun. There we go. Now we're sort of in a mine shaft, I suppose. These guys are mining the stuff. So what do you have to say? When Hylithems are frondos, the harvest time's upon us. Right. I see. The fronds are obviously valuable, but it's important to trim them anyway, so you don't get poolman. Remember poolman? Sometimes we find them too late, and then you just have to tear them out before they turn bad. You hate to see that. You really do. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what these fronds are. I've played through this game once. I still don't understand what they're doing here, so let's just keep going. If we go up here, there's another couple of guys. Hylithems, they're Hylem-rich cave formations. You're just hearing about this now? I suppose. It does look cool, doesn't it? Again, I saw this kind of randomly on Steam, and I was like, this is so strange and weird looking. And I'm usually not into these types of games because this is like a turn-based RPG, right? And turn-based RPGs are kind of so sleep-inducing to me. So it's kind of rare for me to play a game like this, but this is really fun. Glove lathing, burrito synthesis, all starts with Hylithems. Find a rich vein, translates to a lot of bones. A lot of bones. A lot of bones. I see. So up here is this gate that we can't go through, but if we follow this little tube over here, and we go all the way back down, and we go through this cave, there's one more way we can go and find an item over here. We found a burrito. Tasty. And there's one more area over here, which we actually need because there's a little bit of money over here. And some more money over here. And there's a guy standing around. So what do you have to say? You wouldn't happen to be carrying juice. Well, in fact, we would happen to be carrying juice. So, would you like one? Way? Thanks. Here, take this key. You can use my monitor. It's got Soul Crisper. Well, ain't that great? We got a house key. And Soul Crisper is actually a pretty nice ability. So let's see. Let's try to avoid this guy. Ah, well, he got us. That's fine. That's fine. We're still pretty nice and shiny, so we can hopefully do a little bit of damage. I don't have Soul Crisper right now, which would be great for this fight, but we'll have to do with something. So the fight system, I mean, again, you know, it's a turn-based sort of RPG, so it's got this regular fight system. The snap is your usual attack, just the standard attack. It looks pretty cool. I'll show it to you later. Gestures are kind of your abilities, magic, whatever you want to call it. And then you got things, which are just your items. And if you really don't want to fight, you can just, where is it? Gesture? Yeah, you can just perish. Just kill yourself. If you really want to. All right, we can also brace to defend, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to go all out. So we're going to do, let's see. We're going to dissolute this guy, because these little guys are actually a little bit of troublemaker. Oh, he just died instantly. That's nice. That was pretty lucky. These little guys, they can spawn other enemies. If you're unlucky, the fight can turn pretty chaotic pretty quickly, so it's best to get rid of these guys as soon as possible. So this guy shouldn't really make us a lot more trouble. Should be able to get rid of him pretty quickly. There's the snap. Ah, and he healed himself, but that's fine, that's fine. We can also do that. A burrito? Yeah, I think that's nice. Let's eat a burrito. Tasty. They kind of look like clay figures, don't they? I think that's actually how they made this. I'm not quite sure, but I think they actually animated this with like claymation, which is pretty sweet. So let's just snap him. He's still got the shield on, so we kind of need to get rid of that. And snap him, hopefully. Oh, no, not quite. I thought we could snap him to death here. But this one's the one. There we go. So after every fight, you get a little bit of money, which is bones, and you get meat, which we can use to raise our max HP. So pretty nice, pretty nice.